So you will looking for finance.
You might have heard about something called as an automation and manual testing. So everybody has got a query that what does this automation mean and how does it differ from manual testing?
Yeah.
These are the basic questions which each and everybody has started their course would be having. Right, Sucheta?
Yes.
Yes. So the first question is, what would we do? What is our role and responsibility as a QA in a company? So this is what will happen. Like, you see, do you cook something?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so what is your favorite dish?
Rajma rice.
Great. So what you do is that you prepare before you cook that. You prepare what are the ingredients you do need for it. You just select it and keep it with you, right?
Yes.
You would store it with you. And next what would you do is that you'll start cooking one by one. There will be a step-by-step procedure. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, right?
Yes.
And then what would you do for the first time if you are cooking it? Then you would taste it. Even if generally the tendency of the people is that before you serve, you just taste it just to make sure that it has come fine and good and all the requirements of you has been met. Yes or no?
Yes.
And then finally you serve it to guests or whoever you want to serve it, right? The
Yes.
same thing we are going to do even in our software field. First of all, we take a product, okay? And there will be a client, just like somebody who is tasting your food. In the same way, there will be a client who would be using it,
Okay.
using the product which you have developed. Just like Skype, just like Google, each and everything is a product, is a software product.
Okay.
Yes. So next what would happen? You start preparing it step by step. In the same way, the developers in my company would be preparing it step by step. They'll be coding it by using some code like C, C++. There are different languages in which they code it.
Okay.
And then what you do, you would taste it, right?
Yes.
In the same way, we will check, we QA people will check whether all the requirements has been met or not, whether it is prepared according to the client's taste or not.
Okay.
This is what is the QA's role and responsibility.
Okay.
Okay, what do? We check whether the product is meeting client requirements or not.
Okay.
Okay, so for example, think that your husband is a client. Okay, so what does he do? So what do? You cook according to his taste, right?
Yes.
So he might like it a bit spicy. He might like it, or else some people will like it with a bit more of a salt or something. Some people like it to have some. They need to first. That masala ingredients, whatever it is, they want it to be strong enough. So you will not prepare it according to your taste. What do? You prepare it according to client's taste. Yes?
Yes.
Whoever is going to have it. So in the same way, each and every product would be prepared or will be developed by the developers according to the client's taste. Client's taste is nothing but client's requirements.
Okay.
So what does QA people do? Just like you are testing whether it is according to the client's requirement or not, just like that, we people, we QA would be testing it whether it is according to the client's requirement or not.
Okay.
Are we clear till here or are you confused?
Yes, I'm clear.
Fine, good. Okay, so let us get into something deep enough so that you would understand much more of QA's role and responsibility. So this is how actually happens. You cannot see in the newspapers and all saying that, see, we need a particular software to be developed, so all the companies you can put up your resume or something like that. You cannot see tenders on softwares, right?
Yes.
You can see building on a road, government might give you a tender, or some apartments need to be constructed. So for these and all, you can see the tender. But did you see till now in a newspaper or in any public place saying that asking for a software to be developed?
Okay.
Did you see it? Did you see anywhere a tender being put up on a
No.
software?
No.
No, right? Then how do you think that we people, or how do you think that a company gets a tender to develop a software?
They discuss on the table.
They discuss on?
They discuss it with the client, like they go to the client place and then they discuss it, like what.
How do they get those clients? You're right. They discuss with a client. You're absolutely right. But how do they get these clients? I'm in my company right now. I am a client and you're a company who is going to develop it. Or I can call you as SDU, Software Development Unit, right? So you're a software development unit and I am a client. I want particular software. For example, I want Skype to be developed. Okay? So how can I reach you? By which means can I reach you?
You can like search online, like which companies are into it.
Okay, there might be some 1,000 companies who can do that. So how can I know which company is best for me?
No idea.
Okay, it's okay, Suchita. So what happens is that this is how what happens. First of all, there are two types of clients. One type of client is that he does know even the technicalities of the software which needs to be developed. For example, IBM, HP, even these also give projects to some other companies. So IBM, HP, they are already in the software field, so they already know which database to be used, what used to be used, which programming language, C or C++ or PHP, or which programming language do they want their software to be developed. So all these technicalities they already know. And also they already might have worked with different companies.
Okay.
Are you able to get me, Sucheta? Am I too fast?
No, but can you write like
Yes, I can write. Once, okay, fine, it's okay. I'll write it. I'll So we were discussing about role and responsibility of QA. Right?
okay, yeah.
So now we are discussing about the process in which the software would be developed. So we would come to know at which place are we responsible in that particular process.
Okay.
Okay. So we were talking about the first step, that is how would an SDU find a client. Who is an SDU? Software.
development unit.
Great. Okay. Software Development Unit. Okay.
Yes.
So who is a client? Client is a person who wants a software to be developed. Right?
Yes.
Okay. So right now we were discussing how would a client meet his SDU. So as I told you, there are two types of client. One client is that who does know whatever be his requirements, even his technical requirements, as well as the non-technical requirements.
Okay.
Just like IBM, just like. So what happens is that they already know few companies whom they have already worked with, or else they already know, since they are in that particular field, they already know who can develop their software very well.
Okay.
Like IBM is famous for its mainframes.
Okay.
So whomever who wants to develop a software or a system with consideration of these mainframes, they would be contacting IBM.
Okay.
So that's a very easy process. What happens is that the client would be approaching 4 to 5 companies who can develop his software, and he would ask for a proposal, saying that, see, he would first of all send a proposal like this, like, see, these are my requirements. I want my software to be developed in this way, and I want it to be done in these many days, and this is what is the price I am investing on it. And now what will happen? The SDUs, depending upon the price he has quoted, the client has quoted, depending upon the time he has quoted, depending upon the requirements what need to be developed, so he would come and discuss with the client.
Okay.
Okay, and once the discussion is finished, from these 4 to 5 members, I select a single person, and then I can go further. This is one type of a client.
Okay.
The other type of a client is somebody who doesn't know anything. For example, you have somebody is running a shop,
Okay.
a big mall or a complex. So what would happen? Does he know all these technicalities?
No.
No, he would just know only one thing, that, see, I need a software who can manage my whole billing system,
Yes.
in which I should have the list of products, list of price for each and every product, and also if there is a concession, or if you can see 1+1 offer, 1+2 offer. So such kind of offer, if there are such kind of offers, then it is also should be available, and finally the bill should be produced and the customer should be happy with that. This is what he does know, right?
Right.
Then how can he approach an SDU? So in that case, you have something called as IT service companies.
Okay.
So what does this IT services would do is that they would find an SDU for him.
Okay.
Okay, so he would also have got some budget, and he would also have got some time. So according to that, these IT services, they will select a company, and they will select a company which can develop his software.
Okay.
Now this he will become a mediator between this client and the SDU.
Yes.
Okay, and then whatever the client needs, he would be telling the mediator, and this mediator would convey all these things to the SDU.
Okay.
Okay, so these are two types of clients what we have, and these are the ways in which a client meets an SDU.
Okay. So for SDU, there can be two kind of client. One is direct and the other one is IT services.
Great, great. Yes, yes, yes. This is how it will be for the SDU. Now I've got the contract. Now what should I do? First of all is that I should see what are all the requirements of it. Okay?
Yes.
Yes. So I will read all the requirements, and let us compare it with the process of applying for a job. So what happens? Are you from India?
Yes.
Okay. So you might have seen in Naukri.com, you might have seen the client will be posting some jobs.
Yes.
Right. So what is that? You first of all see what are his requirements. Right. For example, he has 2+ years of experience and who is very well versed in developing in or C++, and there will be different requirements of client.
Yes.
Okay, so there will be different requirements of the client over there. First of all, before applying for the job, we would refer for it, right?
Right.
Okay, fine. So, are you there, Sucheta?
Yes, I'm.
Okay. So what would we do is that we would refer to whatever be the requirements, and we would see whether we are matching that requirements or not.
Yes.
And once we match his requirements, almost like 80 to 90% we match. It is not possible that we match all his requirements. But if you see that 80 to 90% of the requirement you have matched, you would apply to that particular client through your resume.
Yes.
And from all the resumes what he has got, from that client will be selecting only few resumes which he would think that has matched his requirements.
Yes.
And now what would happen? So he would ask them to come for a discussion, that is nothing but an interview.
Yes.
Once the interview has took place, what would happen? He would select members, whatever you have, he would select one person from that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, after selection, do you directly go and think that you have got the job and you have passed that interview? So, do you directly go and join it, or would you at least inquire about that company?
Yes, I will inquire about the company.
Right. In the same way, once the contract has been took by the SBU, he would at least inquire about that company.
Okay.
Okay, he would refer to different people or different places whether how does this company work and how is it feasible and all.
Okay.
Once he makes sure that yes, he can get into this all these things, then what would you do is that he would first design it.
Okay.
I've got the requirements, let me be clear. I've got the requirements. What would I do is that now I will design these requirements. For example, I'm building a home right now. The contractor has signed up a contract with me. So what would he do? He would first of all design it, right?
Yes.
In the same way, how the contractor would be designing before developing your product, before developing your home, in the same way there will be a design made before developing the system.
Okay.
Once the design is fine, it is according to your requirements. Once the contractor makes sure that yes, you have agreed for that kind of a building, for that design of a building, now he will start to develop it, right? He would bring the bricks, he would bring cement, he would bring whatever he needs for developing that building or for constructing that building. In the same way, here the developers would be having that particular tools like C or C++, how you use cement and bricks to build a building. In the same way, they use different languages to develop that particular software.
Okay.
Are we clear till here? Am I confusing you?
No, you're clear. But can you please write down all these steps?
Yes. I would write down. Once we have done all these things, I will send you the notes also.
Okay.
Okay? So first of all, I want you to be clear of these things. Do you want me, as I'm going on teaching you, do you want me to write the notes also?
No, it's okay. Like you can
I'll
provide
send you
me
the notes.
notes.
Yeah. As soon as we have finished, I'll provide you the notes, whatever happened today. Okay?
Okay.
Fine, Sucheta. So what would happen is that, so in the same way how he starts to construct, in the same way the developer starts to develop my system according to the design whatever has been given to them.
Okay.
And once the design has been completed, the development has been completed, now the QA would start testing it.
Okay.
Now is the question that how would he test it? How would he test is that, for example, there is a requirement like this, like as I told you, the billing system.
Yes.
I need to log in into the system this is what is the client requirement. I need to log in into the system. Once I have logged in into the system, all the list of products would be available to me along with the prices. Now, I select the list of products, whatever has been purchased, along with the price. Now, there will be a quantity column over there in which I enter the quantity of each and every product. And according to the quantity what I have entered, like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, according to the quantity, the price also will change. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So what would happen? The price also would be changing, and finally there will be a total, and when I say print out, then it should print out the bill. This is what is the client requirements. Now, what will the QA do is that he will imitate the client. What he will do, he will log in into the system, and then he will check whatever the items, like I'll check 4 to 5 items. He will imitate just like the client. So what would he do? He would check 4 to 5 items, assuming that they have been purchased, and he will enter the quantity like 1, 2, 3, 4 quantity. He would increase and decrease the quantity, and finally get a printout. Okay. For example, while taking the printout, what the developer didn't develop it properly. So while taking the printout, all the products have not come.
Okay.
I took 4 to 5. The whomsoever have purchased the product, he took 6 products. But finally, I can see in the printout there are only 5 products.
Okay.
Okay. So what would the QA do? He would log it as a defect.
Okay.
Okay. So what is the job of QA is that before sending the product to the end client, now the QA will act as an end client and find out defects. Defects are nothing but the portions of the product which are not meeting the client requirements.
Okay.
Okay. So are we clear till here, Sucheta?
Yes.
Can you please repeat whatever you have understood? It might not be technical, just repeat in your words.
Yes. So when the when the client goes to software development unit, first he specified his requirement, and then on the basis of his requirement, software development unit, they design it. They design the software, and then the developers, they work on it. They develop the software using the languages, and then the tester, they test it. They check whether there is any defect in the application, or whether it is according to the print.
Right. So right now whatever we have discussed, that is nothing but your SDLC, Software Development Lifecycle, which covers the first topic of our QA course.
Okay.
Okay. So this is how we'll be going on. So you can see in here can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
See, you can see the first question over here. What are the different phases of SDLC?
Okay.
So the different phases of SDLC is, the first phase is requirement analysis phase. Okay, in which I told you the client will give the requirements to the SDU, right?
Yes.
This is the phase in which the client will give his requirements to the SDLC. So I think we are clear about this phase, right?
Okay.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, Sucheta. So do you remember I think you remember the topic which we have discussed, in which the client would be providing requirements to the SDU. That is nothing but your requirement analysis phase.
Okay.
And what was the second, as soon as the client gets, sorry, as soon as the SDU get the requirements, what did I told you? What would the SDU do?
They will do some inquiry about the client.
Okay. After that, what did he do?
They will design the application.
Yes, that is nothing but your design phase. And next, what I told you, after designing, what would happen?
The developer, they will develop the application.
Yes, that is nothing but your development phase. And after that, what would happen?
The tester, they will test it.
Yes, that is nothing but your testing phase.
Okay. And what about the planning? Do they, like, after the requirement analysis phase, don't they plan?
Yes, in these phases there will be different. This is what I was about to tell you after writing all these things. What would happen is that in this software development life cycle, there will be documents prepared. In the design, all the documents which are prepared are planning documents.
Okay.
In requirement analysis phase, I'll teach you. I'll teach you all those, whatever the documents which are prepared, and I'll also will send you the sample of those documents also, so that you can read and know how the document looks. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. And after the testing phase, we have something called as implementation phase.
Okay.
Where after testing, it would be sent to the client directly, and once the testing is finished, it would be sent to the client, and the implementation of the software would take place. Now, coming to your question, that was a very good question what you have posted me. So, in these phases, whatever I have talked in, there will be a planning document which will be prepared. In requirement analysis phase, there are two documents which would be prepared. One is user requirement document, URS. URS. The first document which will be prepared is URS, user requirement specifications. Okay, in this user requirement specifications, what happens is that the user would be specifying his requirements in a document and would give it to the client, give it to the SDU. Now, the SDU will prepare another document called as, very important document called as SRS, Software Requirement Specifications. Okay, what does this document contain is that this document contains nook and corner of client's requirement. I will send you a sample of an SRS. You can go through that SRS. Okay? Yes, Sucheta?
Yes.
Okay. I'll be sending you a sample SRS so that you will come to know how does an SRS look.
Okay. And who prepare all these documents like URS and
Yes,
SRS?
I'll tell you all these things. Don't worry. I'll tell you all these things. Okay? So there will be a person called as, I was just about to tell you. So there is a person called as BA, business analyst.
Okay.
Business analyst would be preparing your SRS. Business analyst is a person who would be acting as a mediator between the client and the software development unit.
Okay.
Okay. The business analyst is a person who has got the information of nook and corner of each and every requirement.
Okay.
Okay. And he would write the SRS. What is the difference between this URS and SRS is that URS will contain a raw data or a raw requirement, I should say. See, what does the client give is that this is how the client gives the requirement. He would say that, see, I need a software in this way. Like it does consist of a list of products, then it should consist of as I told you, in the same way the client will be writing it. Now, there will be questions arising on this. Okay, you're telling me that there should be a login. Is the login both for the billing person, whomever is billing, and as well for the owner is the same or not? Owner is an administrator, right?
Yes.
He is the owner of the whole complex, so he should have a separate login.
Yes.
And the person who will bill it, he should have a separate login, right?
Yes.
So these queries would be arised by the BA to the client, and that answers would be written in this SRS.
Okay.
Now, I told you that there should be a list of products available in my billing system. Now, who would upload or update the list of products? See, automatically the list of products would not be available. There should be a person who will update this list of products. Is it the person who is billing it, or is it the administrator who would update it?
Okay.
And next you are telling me there should be a list of products. So these list of products, do they come together, or else I would say crockery would be different list of products. I can have vegetables to be as a different list of products. I can have these soaps and all these things to be as another list of products. Do you need it separately, or do you need it together as a list of products?
Okay.
And now you're telling me that the person should be able to select the whatever the purchase has been took place. He should be able to select from the list of products. So at a time, can I select 2 or 3 products, or you want me to select only one product? So generally what will happen, he should be able to select all the products. Somebody purchases all the products, who would know? So he should be able to select all the products which has been purchased.
Okay.
Okay. So these questions would be put up by the BA to the user, and he would be right. So the BA would be preparing a separate requirement document which consists the answers of all the questions. That is nothing but SRS.
Okay. So is there any specific format for SRS, or like
I'll send you, yes, there is a format. I'll send you that.
Okay.
I'll send you a sample SRS. Okay, just give me your mail ID so that I can send you your the SRS, whatever it is. Okay.
Yes, sure.
And also I could send you the notes.
Okay.
Okay, I got it, Sujeta. Okay, at gmail.com. Fine then. Thank you. So now I'm coming to the design phase. Now I have got the requirements. So in design phase, there will be 2 documents which will be prepared. Now that is nothing but HLD and LLD. HLD is nothing but high level design document. And LLD is nothing but low level design document. So who would be writing both these documents? There will be there is a person called as architect, or in some companies they call them as system analyst. So these persons would be preparing this document called as high level design document and low level design document.
Okay.
Okay. So high level design document is something which is high level. For example, for easy understanding, as I told you, the contractor would take a contract to build your home. So first of all, you'll get a design document which is raw. Like they would show you that, see, you will have 3 bedrooms, you can have 3 in whatever the square foot or whatever the land property you are having, according to its dimensions. He would tell you, see, this is how it would come. Like you can have 3 bedrooms and 1 hall and 1 kitchen. So this is how it could be present. That is nothing but an overall design he will show you, right?
Yes.
And now, that is nothing but your high-level design document, where the overall design would be present. Now, low-level design document is that, in low-level design document, you can see the nook and corner of each and every design. For example, after you say, okay, this is okay, I can have 3 bedrooms and 1 kitchen and 1 hall. Now, what would he do is that, just a second. Now, what would he do is that he would give the dimensions of each and every door, right?
Yes.
For each and every door and window also, he would be giving you the dimensions. That is nothing but your low-level design document.
So low-level design document is more detailed.
Yes, yes. And high-level design document is nothing but an overall design document.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay, fine then, Sucheta. So as it is a demo class, I need to end here. So if you would like my demo class, you can just approach the CSoft for further classes. If not, then all the best. Yeah?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Sucheta. So as this for the demo class, I'm just stopping over here. And if in case that you're okay with my class and if you want to continue with me, you can continue from tomorrow with the further classes. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Hope you would like it. Thank you.